right? It's like every game is a dive game. So I do really like it.
We were actually quite perplexed when we saw T1's first game where they just insta-locked Ashe Renata. Maybe it's telling us a little bit about what's been happening in scrims behind closed doors with a few of these picks that have been very, very good. Speaking of picks that are being good, Kalista has certainly been up there. That's going to be insta-locked by Carzzy this time around. This time Light not going to have that opportunity, but into it, you can just do exactly the lane we were talking about.
You can do Renata Ashe, yeah, exactly. I think it would be really strong. Draven would be pretty hype. We'll see what they end up actually locking in here. Rumble is available. Xayah is banned out, as is the Orianna, but to me, Renata makes so much sense here. You don't have to draft your AD on 2, obviously. You can take a contested pick like the Rell, draft your AD on 3, try to get a winning 2v2. And I just feel like if Kalista's not enabled in the 2v2, this pick has so little value because you really have to play aggressively in these 5v5s. It's much harder to actually get consistent damage out because you're so low range, you're so vulnerable when you're really in the mix of things. So if you don't have that winning 2v2, Mad is going to have to do an incredible job of creating space for Carzzy when it comes time to teamfight.
Well, I mean, it could be just the same idea they went for last time. Go for the buy, go for Nisqy on this Sylas. I mean, it worked out well. At least then you can try and play for early dive and like try and make a place happen there. But
I think the Fizz is the angle.
The blind Fizz.
Yeah.
He's for sure locking it in.
Yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense. You get so much mid-priority with Fizz in the early game. All jokes aside, it's going to be the Ahri Vi. Tale as old as time as far as pick combos are concerned.
But is it just me, or is that such a grief into Renata? You're going hardcore single target pick against a champion that has bailout. To me, when you play against Renata, you need AoE. When you play against Renata and Zilean, it's pick denial. You need AoE damage. You need high DPS to be able to make those decisions very, very difficult. So I find this really surprising. I feel like Mad basically countered themselves in the first 3 picks. And now they can just get their support pool banned out as well. So it's like you're going to have a losing 2v2. You're going to be 5v5ing with Vi Ahri into Renata Rell. I don't know, man.
I mean, especially when you're going to be able to, as you say, like take away some of the support picks. You've now got this Aphelios who, yes, will struggle a little bit in the laning phase, but Light's going to be able to pop off way later with the amount of protection that he has as well. And you've already dove yourself in on top of him, so now the Aphelios just gets the free hit the entire time the rest of Mad Lions are CC'd.
Well, is he even going to struggle in the 2v2 if you ban out some of these aggressive picks, right? Because if it's just Hilly on something like the Alistar again, you have no prio. It doesn't matter if the 1v1 is advantageous for the ADC because the support is generally what drives that early laning phase. We saw it from Chris last time. He's standing past the wave 1v2ing, right? And you can't really do much about that as Carzzy on this pick unless they have some sort of an angle. So I'm really curious to see what that final ban is. I don't think you care about Alistar at all, as evidenced by this final game. So they're going to go for a really aggressive Hilly pick. One of his kind of old school specials is that Pyke that he's known for, so they take away those high variance, all-in style champions.
And the first thing that I thought about was the fact that Rakan is still up and available, right? Has been extraordinarily high priority. But I really liked that Weibo decided not to ban that one away because you can crush that lane in the 2v2. Yes, in teamfights, Rakan is always going to be good, but this sets them up for that early game power that they've been playing around so much. So I really like that. The Sylas is going to be taken away here from Xiaohu. And Nisqy, of course, not going to be playing that as he's on the other side of the matchup this time around. Let's see what Light is going to lock away.
Yeah, I'm curious now what the game plan is for Hilly. Could go towards a Nautilus and actually just have that point-and-click CC to try and follow up with the dive. Yeah. But it could also be a Thresh angle, honestly. Like, you get the opportunity to look from Fish for some of these hooks. You're not as annoying if you end up with a Renata ult that's going across the top of you. And pick. Now you've actually got maybe a Lantern that can take you away from some of this Rumble damage. So maybe this is an angle for the Thresh.
How do you win against this? Like, even with just the 4 picks, how do you win against this in a 5v5? Xiaohu's going to have final pick because it looks like
don't ask these questions.
You exit the drop.
Questions.
Exit the drop. That's how you do it.
All right, congratulations. Let's have a remake now.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you end up taking the Rumble Ultimate across with a Vi, that gives you another combo that you can try and play through. Now, obviously, you're still quite AP heavy with the Ahri there, but maybe, just maybe, that's enough that you can try and finish off some of these low health bars.
I think it might be a Sylas ban. And it is. We're back into the draft, of course, as it will be a Neeko locked in next. And then we will go about the draft. So there it is. So Neeko not transformed into Rumble this time.
Yep, so Neeko does get locked in. I think double AP solo laners is totally fine for Mad because you have Kalista and you have Vi, right? So you have enough physical damage. I think it's absolutely fine. I just really want to see what is Hilly going to draft because if he can't give something that makes me believe they can win 2v2, I have so many concerns for this Mad draft. Soraka would be really interesting and would be able to contest the 2v2, so I think this is a great pick. Soraka really strong in lane. It is Ksante blind, so it's probably just the Aatrox, I'm assuming, into the top lane again. But this is going to mean so much in that bot lane. It's all about the Soraka. It's all about, can you hit those Qs? Because not only are you dealing damage, you're getting the health back.
And I think a lot of it as well is, hey, look, can we keep these divers alive? Get that Soraka ult to try and keep them up and topped up as they go in. Maybe you can get a couple of heals off, but I mean, it is going to be very tough. I think this is definitely something where you're like, hey, look, we need to try and smash bot lane. Let's try and have that poke that can answer, and we need Elyoya to play around this bot side to enable that.
They just needed a pick that could win 2v2. If you don't have a pick that wins 2v2, good luck. There's just no way, right? You'd have losing lanes kind of across the board. So Hilly pulls something out. We have to see if it works. It is kind of that EU classic. We have seen some Soraka do really well from a number of different players. Trimby's one of the guys that I think of more recently. But Soraka definitely can be very strong. That being said, if you fall behind, it can be really tough to kind of have value. So I agree. It's got to be all about bot lane. Maybe you get Nisqy ahead and then you try to move that pressure down towards bot. But Carzzy and Hilly must win, it feels like.
Yep, this is going to be the first time we're going to see Soraka here at Worlds as well. So Hilly making the debut, the Unicorn Lady. See whether it is going to work out. Of course, like you say, you need to fight for 2v2. This is probably the best shot that they're going to have. Carzzy, of course, pretty good at playing with Soraka alongside his Kalista. See whether it's going to be enough to get Mad over the line here in game number 2. They have to win 2 in a row to be able to stay alive here at Worlds. Otherwise, a loss here, they will be going home. Weibo Gaming will be moving on to that 2-2 match. So much volatility as you get further on in the tournament. That will give them a shot at qualifying to the knockout stage.
They definitely have a good shot of making that run if they are able to do it here. They're going to be one of those teams that people are going to be terrified of.
Oh, yeah.
You know, in this lower bracket of making that run. There's some really strong teams that are already down there, and it's only going to get harder as we move forward towards that 2-2 mark, where there's going to be so many tough teams.
Well, it's not going to be an Infernal Soul to start us off this game, but you can remember to connect your League of Legends account with Prime Gaming. Grab the exclusive experimentation emote.
Have you done it yet?
Have I done it yet?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I did it immediately. Got to make sure that I can represent my Heimerdinger, because, you know, I'm a big fan of Pastry Time, and Heimerdinger was the champion that he famously knew all of the ability names for. I made sure that I did not learn Heimerdinger's turret name and stuff like that, because it's all just numbers and gibberish.
Yeah.
I made sure I didn't, so that his legacy could live on as being the guy that knew the Heimerdinger spell names.
That's true friendship right there.
Yep. Yeah. That's how that one goes.
Also laziness, but mostly friendship.
No, all friendship all the time.
A good excuse for laziness, Azael, and you have to be creative to make sure you can live with yourself for those levels of laziness. I was trying to segue it, but I don't think you can segue lazy into this game, because everyone...
These players aren't lazy. Let's get on to the ring.
Hey, there we go. We just do the opposite. That would be the best way.
They're all friends.
Oh, is Carzzy representing Bang towards the bottom side? I think he might be, using the SKT skin. Been quite a few of those. Okay. Let's see how this early lane goes. As already, Xiaohu is trading with Nisqy. Blooming Burst, not going to do too much, just 1 tick. Still pretty even as far as these trades are concerned. We'll see. Can Nisqy get the same kind of lead that he got in the last game, this time on the Ahri?
It's a big ask. He had a monstrous lead, went godlike early on that Silas, and was playing so well around mid lane, but nicely timed on the E there from Crisp. And you want to use that E reactively as the Soraka Q comes through, but really anytime you're playing against Soraka, it's just all about how many Qs can you dodge, because the traits go so health positive when you hit one, because you're dealing damage and getting all the health back. It also amplifies the healing on your W, so it's all about how many of those can you dodge.
Yep, really nice. Speaking of dodges from Chasy there towards the top side, TheShy not going to be able to hit that Q, and therefore the Ksante able to win out in the trade.
Yeah, I want to see, though, how we're actually going to get this played from Mad Lions, because ideally I'd love to see them, hey, we get push, let's go into the enemy jungle, get some vision down, allow Carzzy and Hilly to try and play through this. But if you actually look, they're running 2 sweepers on both jungle and support, and they've already used their ward as well. So for Mad Lions, you're going to be a little bit blind on this bottom side to actually try and get that vision down. But at least at the moment, Elyoya will be down on the spot lane, and we already know that weiwei loves to go for these early ganks, so we'll have to see if that's maybe something he wants to try and go for.
Well, so far, it is just Weibo Gaming weathering the storm. Decent little silence there, but Hylissang's going to take a bit of damage back as well. Crisp just trying to make sure they can keep the health bars even Of course, trading into Soraka often just feels bad unless you can kill her. There's just a fair bit of extra sustain in that lane. Having a look over here, you can see Vision in the river. Weiwei is going to possibly just crash on top of it.
Well, he's going to see Elyoya. He's going to be spotted on that ward now, so now he could look for a lane gank potentially.
It's an opportunity,
See what he wants to do.
Could wrap around and look for Elyoya, but instead, it is just going to be the Scry's Bloom, and he is going to be spotted out. And just going to be some biffo here between the two junglers. Aftershock is going to wear off. There's 2v2 and 1v1 happening at the same time. That silence was fantastic, though, as well as the Starfall landing. Hylissang is going to get pushed back by the handshake, but you can see the junglers are going to disengage. Mad might need to hold off.
Yeah, a little bit of a mid-push diff there. I was a little bit nervous for Elyoya. As you can see, the Xiaohu had already started to try and push over, so Elyoya had to make it safely down towards the bot side and over the Dragon Pit, but not really in a position to contest that. He's going to reset now and try and go for that top side scuttle as well. But honestly, you may see the contest here, especially TheShy trying to get onto Chasy, who has no mana.
Yeah, he's going to land the chains and will be pulled back, but doesn't have any more cooldowns, so he'll be fine. Manages to get the cannon as well. If you've been to the Church of Doran, you know that they're not actually very useful at all. As, oh my goodness, the Blooming Burst hits 2, doesn't get the 3rd. Wouldn't have quite been enough, but Nisqy, I think, is going to have to go home.
Very likely. It's going to have to be really careful about Xiaohu. And this trading is getting pretty dicey because, as you say, Chasy really low on mana, but did pop a biscuit, I think, there because he just got a little bit of injection of mana. And Ksante's mana costs are ridiculously low.
Just a little bit. That Q is kind of disgusting when you're able to spam it like that, but I mean, still, TheShy doing a good job of keeping control up there. Scuttlecrab does end up going to Elyoya in the end. He just came back.
And he also didn't get all of his health back. Tried to make sure that he got back as quickly as possible to get the extra experience. And so Nisqy now at 50% as he heads home. And Xiaohu, every bit of damage he can get is pretty much free value as the cleanse is going to be used here. But now Crisp is in trouble. He has to use his flash. And you'll take that trade if you're Mad.
Yeah, things are getting pretty awkward for Weibo down on this bot side. They need some sort of coverage because they haven't been able to get the wave in. You could see earlier, Hildy and Carzzy were just holding that wave. They know they have the advantage in the 2v2. This is going to stack and bounce eventually, so I think they may just be taking a recall here, but with Elyoya moving down, they could be in trouble.
Yeah, I think they need Elyoya to push, but there's the kill!
Oh, the Pop Blossom does come through, and Xiaohu's looking for it. Nisqy not going to take too much damage here because, of course, he doesn't have all of his items yet. Nisqy is still going to have to flash away from it.
Nicely done there by Xiaohu to get the play onto Nisqy. Uses the level 6 advantage, but Elyoya now in this bot side. There's the CC.
Carzzy in trouble, and Weiwei was lurking in the brush. And now the Vault Breaker will be turned around. Never mind, he's back in onto Weiwei, taking a fair bit of damage. Carzzy needs to be careful with the silence onto 3 is massive. Just going to get Weibo out of here for now.
Elyoya needed to be down here because he still had that Gravitum gun to set up onto Carzzy, who has no cleanse.
Oh, the flash forward for the Pierce, but he doesn't quite land
He's gonna die.
And there's the Gravitum as well. Red-White comes in, the Vault Breaker's decent, but that is going to be first blood. The bailout is in as well. It's not quite going to be enough, though, as Elyoya picks up the double. Light is going to collect one as well, though, and it is just a bloodbath in the bottom lane.
I mean, the kill going across the line is huge. Carzzy thought he had the play, but as I was just saying, the Gravitum was still up for Light. He has no cleanse on Carzzy. He goes to play, it fails, and immediately Weibo turned that around.
Yeah, he was trying to look for that big play, flashing in for the Q. Unfortunately, this time, the light at the end of the tunnel played for Weibo and crushed you as you went in. We got to watch it one more time. I mean, I like this initial trading here, utilizing the Soraka. Big silence comes through. They get some really good chip damage. Light is completely but then it's Carzzy who tries to go big here, gets the level up, flashing forward, does not connect. Would have been really close. I think he likely would have had it, but then no flash, no cleanse. We're back to live.
Yeah, in the meantime, Crisp is just going to get punched. That is going to be the kill, going over to Mad. Caught warding, I think, as we came out of the replay. Xiaohu, Nisqy not going to have the charm at this point in time. Xiaohu's offering back a lot of damage in the mid. This
will give control to Carzzy to go for this dragon, though. They already have the push in bot side now. Crisp isn't there, but Weiwei, he still wants to try and fight this with Xiaohu. That ultimate is just about to tick back up for Xiaohu.
Yeah, they're going to have to get out of their light here by himself towards the bottom side, and you can see Crisp making his way back in. Chasy with a very large minion wave to deal with. TheShy is being thrown around like a ragdoll a little bit, but it is Chasy that is a bit worse for wear under this turret. TheShy having a really good day today, and that is going to be the Drake secured by Weibo Gaming.
TheShy making such a big difference in that last game. Him and Chris, even though it was Light picking up a lot of those kills, those were the two biggest difference makers for me in the 5v5. And they're back on the same champions, right? They have that ability to really make all the difference here once again. And we talked about Mad really needing to win that bot lane 2v2. They were winning out in pressure, but the fact that Light got a kill and an assist from there, and Carzzy, spent his summoners, got nothing for it, means that this slight CS advantage, well, it's a pretty good CS advantage, doesn't really mean much because it's not going to amount to a gold lead.
Well, we're looking for that cease and desist from Elyoya. Light just playing right on the edge of the range. Still has flash available. Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this stage it's just a case of, hey, we can help here, maybe look for a pick, but help Crash, but he's now left, and weiwei's now in the area. I don't think Carzzy knows this.
No, he doesn't. There was no pings. They didn't spot him. They had that scuttle and that ward over the wall, but they didn't see him.
Yeah, there is the crash down. The Magnus Storm onto 2. The point-blank ultimate as well. As now Carzzy is going to get healed by the Wish. He's trying to dance his way out of it. He knows he's not going anywhere, though, and Light is going to secure it. Hylissang just with some starfalls from under the turret. It's not going to be enough to get any sort of kill back. Meanwhile, Elyoya finds a cease and desist onto TheShy, who just says, I'll just press World Ender, look for a flash, and gets over a big, fat part of the wall.
Hey, at least you managed to get Elyoya, who can start up the Rift Shroud and take that, but Hilly, you already stuck around in the last game. What are you doing? What are you doing, Hilly? That's 2 games in a row.
It's flashback to last game. It's the Alistar play again, sticking around, trying to greed for some golden experience there at no health. Gives over another kill, and it's to Light, plus the plate, plus the CS denial. Light is now going to be miles ahead.
And he's on an Aphelios.
Yeah, this was one thing working here for Mad, is Nisqy lying in wait. Handshake was nice, but there's nowhere for Chris to go.
I mean, Chris gets caught out here. Great pick from Mad Lions to try and set this up, but this here is just greedy from Mad Lions from start to finish. You want to guarantee the wave crash, but honestly, that's too big of a wave to try and hold anyway. So they could have just backed away, fought, and then come back to lane in a good spot, but because they stuck around to try and get that extra little bit of damage, Weibo were able to get in with a really good gang time from weiwei. Now Chasy.
Yeah, looking for an opportunity. He's pulled back by the chains, but now Elyoya is going to smite TheShy. TheShy trying to take this, but it's just going to be a punch to the head, and that will secure it here. Good gank there from Elyoya in top lane.
And that's nice. That's something they get out of that earlier play. They forced his flash, they forced his ulti on that play, so there's the follow-up. He just got back to lane, does die. Chasy's going to be able to push in. He already got 1 plate off the earlier play, and now with this Sheen can whack away, potentially grab a 2nd plate up on that top side, but Xiaohu's pushing up through mid. He has a significant advantage there, and they have that advantage down on bot side, so the Ksante being a bit ahead, it's nice, but is it enough?
Just have to see as Hylissang is going to find weiwei. He gets the crash down, not going to be silenced for quite long enough. And now Chris not going to get any handshakes from over the wall. Weibo just going to settle for some shellfish and go about their business. Looking at the top of the screen, a very slight advantage here for Weibo Gaming in the end. Matt's still holding on. Similar feeling to what we saw last game as Chasy manages to get an all-out under the turret, and that's going to spell the demise of TheShy.
I, for one, am shocked that Ksante was able to do that. I've never seen anything like that before from Ksante, but Elyoya, great timing there, moves up into the top side to try and help finish that one off. TheShy getting invaded just a little bit. If you want, Elyoya going to make it happen again.
Yeah, if you want, I can introduce you to Showmaker. He has a lot of things to say about Ksante. He's pretty good at it. As Charm is going to connect. A little bit of poke there from Nisqy. Nice work as he makes his way into the fog of war.
Elyoya also 4 kills here now on the Vi, so he'll have to do a lot of the heavy lifting because he's gotten every single kill for Mad. Does have that early mythic, but weiwei on the other side has his completed as well and is hovering again around this bottom side. They're just denying Carzzy as this win condition. They're trying to hold him down.
But it feels very similar to last game, right? Where
look at mid.
has the
Mad
lead.
want to dive mid, I think.
See whether they can make it happen is immediately out of the teleport. Xiaohu is going to be charmed. It should be all right. They get the plate and they move on out.
It does feel exactly the same as the last game, though. Dive heavy on Mad. You've got Light that you need to try and take down. Yes, you've got good opportunities to try and go for it, but we've seen how good Crisp can be on this. Xiaohu even having the extra little bit of, hey, I'm going to buy space for Light. It feels very, very difficult for Mad, even with the kills that Elyoya has, to try and turn this one around.
Right now, just holding the battle lines between these two teams. Nothing in the lead for anyone outside of the one Infernal Drake. Next Dragon going to be up in 8 seconds time. It's going to be a Chemtech. See whether Mad can even that one out as well.
Yeah, Mad would love to get a kill into a Herald drop, get some sort of significant reward, and that's why I kind of thought they were going to be looking for that dive around mid, because they knew that Xiaohu was coming back, as we're going to see the all-out.
Yeah, another all-out onto TheShy here as Chasy's going to eat the CC. It's nicely done. World Ender is going to give TheShy the movement speed, though, but the dash is going to be there. The Q is going to miss. Carzzy's under the turret. TheShy just dodges everything, and Chasy's going to fall.
Chasy will dance no more. Just got his ankles broken by TheShy in the top lane. Wanted that kill so bad, wanted to push for it, but TheShy with the sidesteps.
That had the most nice work, kid energy to it I have ever seen, as Xiaohu looking to try and get them out of the river, and he is going to be able to achieve his goal. Now Weibo Gaming, the added advantage that they have, this plate is going to go over to TheShy as well. It looks like the second Drake is on the menu.
Elite just going to be able to step forward, try and get some vision control over this. I don't really think Mad are in a position to contest this at the moment, though, especially with the position that Crisp is in. An ultimate over the top of that wall caused major issues for Mad.
Oh man, now we have to collect ourselves, see whether this Drake is going to be contested or not. Xiaohu in the mid lane is going to push this wave out, and Nisqy is going to catch it. So back to just neutral. You can see Elyoya with all of those kills is the only one ahead. It's a very similar MasterCard lane economy snapshot as what we saw in the last game, but this time it's Elyoya instead of Nisqy.
And on the reset, it's just going to be a freebie for Weibo. So you're playing into the Kalista. You're the one with 2 early dragons here. And it's not going to be that Chemtech, which means pretty much all of them are very good. I'm sure that they're hoping that it's not going to be a Cloud Toll, but even that, I think with their composition, is pretty good, especially for the Aatrox. It's
I was going to say, for Weibo, you're happy out. I mean, the fact you end up with the 2 dragons against the Vi, Ahri, Kalista, but here, Chasy, sometimes you really wish he was called Walk Away, because for God's sake, he didn't need to follow underneath the tower.
Oh man, no, TheShy really just found every little angle. Just felt like he said, I have you now right where I wanted you.
I have the high ground, Chasy. It's over.
Indeed.
Maybe.
Well, now Mad are set up for a bit of a gank on Xiaohu. There's the Pop Blossom in answer, but I don't know whether he's going to be able to get... Oh, never mind! He's got the stopwatch! And now weiwei is there. Carzzy just going to try and get out of there. They do have the Fate's Call. Now Hylissang is a sitting duck. Ooh, Moonlight Vigil just barely going to go wide. Now Light's looking for it. There's the flash from Carzzy as TheShy is running his way underneath this turret. Can they get this dive to work as Hylissang is going to come on through there? They don't find the hostile takeover, but there's the Infernal Chains. Carzzy just trying to get as many autos as he can, and Chasy is going to be here. Keep the rest of his team alive, and Mad will walk away, but just barely.
They walk away, but it's a lot of flashes forced, honestly, on both sides. TheShy uses TP and flash, weiwei uses flash, Crisp uses flash for that R flash again that he's been loving to go for. Really prioritizing setting up the angles here on the Renata, trying to get that perfect ulti as TheShy was wrapping around. But at the end of the day, it is Weibo that push them back, that survive again, and every time one of those plays fails for Mad, you have to feel like that clock is ticking.
And I think they know it. That's why you're burning that many flashes to try and make something happen on that bot side. But now you get TheShy, who's able to walk back up towards top side. He's got the Gore Drinker. You're going to look towards Rift Tower that's about to come up as well. Now, I think Weibo will take it a little bit slow for a second, wait for some of those ultimates to come back up. And maybe that gives an opportunity for Mad to try and contest on towards this, because they actually didn't use as many ults in that equation. Or at least, sorry, their ults were on a shorter cooldown coming into this one.
Well, TheShy now looking for another opportunity. Nisqy going to get knocked up. There's the Infernal Chains to pull him back, but out of cooldowns, and okay, everything's going to miss, so it's going to be fine here for TheShy. weiwei now in this pit. Mad looking for another Rift Herald, but they're not going to be able to get it. The eye gets poked. She's going to move back, though. weiwei is going to coax her over, and it looks like Weibo Gaming are going to retain control of this area. Carzzy going to break the chains. Still, Weibo Gaming collect this. Can they get the eye is the question, and it looks like the answer is yes, as now they're looking for even more. Pop Blossom, the flash forward from Xiaohu! Hylissang is going to get that wish out, but Carzzy's not going to survive through it no matter what. Stun comes down, and now Light is just going to clean it up. Nisqy onto the turret. He might survive, but the rest of his teammates may not be so lucky as the Rift Herald immediately dropped to knock down these structures.
Weibo pounce again. They take down Carzzy. They take out Hilly. They get the Herald, and now they're going to be able to get potentially a charge on this Tier 2 as well, as they're going to be walking up. Maybe they can even just kill the Tier 2 as Xiaohu defends mid, and Weibo are going to explode this gold lead here, as I think this turret's gone as well.
It's just such a back-breaking play here from Weibo. Really beautiful stuff. from these guys. Xiaohu with the Flash Pop Blossom. Neeko, such a good team fighting champion, and Xiaohu, if he's ever been anything, it's an incredible team fighter.
Yeah, I mean, the setup in this is absolutely gorgeous. The flash forward onto Hilly, they get Carzzy as well. He's completely taken out of the fight, and Mad are just running for the hills. They want to try and play for picks. They want to try and play for some sort of advantage, but Weibo have shut every single door, and now TheShy is even contesting Elyoya on the jungle.
Yeah, I think Elyoya not going to be able to tussle with TheShy all that effectively, even though Elyoya does have a lot of the kills. Still, this Gromp is going to be the prize that the Weibo top laner will claim.
It's got a lot of gold, but you're 3 levels down, and that's going to be a tough nut to crack. Can't really win out on that 1v1, so he scraps a bit, but knows he's going to have to back it up. And Mad, all they can do is keep looking for picks here. But there's pings. The spear still comes out of the bush when you queue over the wall like that, I'm pretty sure. So they were wise to it. A lot of pings came over from the Weibo side as Mad jumped into that brush, and I think Carzzy may have given away the plan.
I think if you're Weibo, you're perfectly happy to just go, hey, we're just going to farm waves, right? You've already got 2 dragons. That's a massive advantage for you in this one, because realistically, you're just waiting for Light to come online. He's at 1.5 items. You give him a little bit more time. You can see the gold at the bottom of the screen there. He is so far ahead. Just let him scale, and Weibo can handily take this game.
And he's moving towards LDR. He just has to hit frontline, and he kind of knows it, right? Chasy is building up a lot of armor, so he's going to go LDR second. He's going to be, building towards this tank shredding style, and it's going to be up to the rest of them to just create space for him to free hit. And you can see it is Hex Tech Soul, 2 early dragons, 2 Weibo, even though they're not playing with the Kalista. It's up in 10 seconds, and I think Mad knows they have got to fight for this, but are they in the position to do so?
Just have to find out. Xiaohu just going to take care of the mid lane to give them as much priority as possible in this river. Soul Point going to be so much pressure for Mad to deal with, and like you were talking about, Hex Tech Soul, it's a pretty good one.
Best in slot.
Yeah. TheShy now looking for an angle with the portals. Certainly something that I imagine he's pretty happy about. People have their opinions about the different rifts. This is one I could imagine TheShy would be pretty happy with. Now Chasy is going to eat some honey fruit, but it might be dangerous as Elyoya going to get over towards this Drake. And now the Aatrox looking for that angle. There is vision. Should be able to turn it off. No. Not going to be able to do so, as now they just get over. They look for the turn. The engage onto the Aatrox hasn't necessarily worked out in the past. As now Weibo looking for their opportunity as well. Light has some good guns for this fight, as now Chasy just dealing with this Drake. Who's going to get it? It's Elyoya that locks it down, but at what cost? As the Pop Blossom flies through, the hostile takeover comes in. It's a double kill already. Almost a triple, but it's Xiaohu that locks it down. 3 kills for Weibo. And they could just move over towards the Baron that just spawned 40 seconds ago.
Oh, Carzzy, that was not the bush that you wanted to walk into. Weibo, they managed to take the fight of the dragon. Yes, Matt, get it, but Baron is the bigger prize in this one.
Weibo, they just focus on the fight. Elyoya, great smite to be able to secure it, but at the end of the day, Mad cannot match Weibo in the 5v5. Light is 5-0-4. He's massively fed. The Baron is going to be theirs, and with that, likely the chances for Mad in this tournament.
And that's what I was going to say. It's heartbreaking for Mad after such a good game 1 in this series, being unable to find any sort of success in game number 2. Again, they try to turn onto TheShy, but for Drinker, the healing that's there, the follow-up that comes through from Weibo, there's just no chance.
There's no chance, and it looked like Carzzy failed his Q over the wall there. I think he was trying to follow up, but if he doesn't get there, they don't have enough burst damage. They can't actually knock him down. I mean, he's level 13, Vi has a lot of gold, but you're not going to one-shot this guy. And Weibo crush you again. They try to get shy because they just know you can't fight front to back against the Renata. It's just not going to happen. So they're trying to find these creative angles, but they're so difficult to find. And Weibo just really are not giving them any options to get a foot in.
And now it is about a 6,000 gold lead. Part of that is going to be the Red Bull Baron power play, currently sitting closer to 16. Mad just trying to defend their base. It's so difficult to do so as Hylissang in trouble. Oh, has to flash. Get out of the way of Xiaohu. Could have spelt certain death for the support of Mad. Does, of course, have the Fate's Call available. Nisqy looking for that flank angle as Chasy. Oh, a flash comes out. Charm going to be avoided there. TheShy here towards the bottom side, just dealing with that. So Chasy going to come back home, try and support the rest of his team.
It's going to be all about, can you somehow get to Light and kill him twice? Because the bailout's going to be there. And he's an entire item up on Carzzy right now. And Weibo are pressing. They're pushing in through mid. They're rotating down towards bot. They only have a couple minions here, but Weiwei's saying, I dare you to step up. He's ready to go.
Looks pretty confident as we're going to empower these minions. Elyoya is just going to press the cease and desist. They love engaging onto the TheShy. He's taken down to almost half health, but then gets back up to almost full with a Gore Drinker. And Carzzy just can't do anything to this Aatrox.
I mean,
He's just running after him, exactly. Is he going to get pulled back? He is! And there's the Magnustorm. He's almost just pulled away from the base gate. Does manage to get out, but that is both summoner spells invested, and Weibo will break down the inhibitor turret in the bottom lane as well.
Mad love engaging on TheShy, and TheShy loves it too. Come at me, bro. There's no way you're going to be able to burst him down when you're this far behind. He's too tanky, but they can't find the angles to get to anyone else, and in goes TheShy.
The flash forward, it's going to break the chains, it's Carzzy, but is it going to be enough is the question. The Orbiception goes wide now. Chasy looks for the knockback, but Xiaohu fights 3 with the Pop Blossom, and TheShy is still alive, stays alive for a long time, will eventually go down, but weiwei will deal with Hylissang. Carzzy is just limping to the fountain. Light is getting very, very low, needed that Severum that he is going to find in the end, and I think Weibo not going to be able to win on this push, but it's getting close. Elyoya looking for a big old flank as he takes the base gate.
There's no pings. I don't know if they know. I think he's might be a Baron recall going to get them out, but
it looked cool. Not a lot of result.
Yeah, it did look cool. I mean, you got to try something, right?
And you
know you have to go for more. We can see it one more time as TheShy just decides it is the moment to go. Q flash, hits the chains onto Carzzy. He's able to dance out of it, but again, if you're not hitting light, you're not winning the fight.
And that's what we were talking about. It's so difficult to actually get onto the back line with them because Xiaohu is able to peel. You've already got Crisp who's able to peel. And I mean, Crisp, you can see there, he only ends up throwing out the ultimate at the very end because he's like, okay, this is now done and dusted. Let's just see how hard we can win here. But Weibo do overextend that a little bit, trying to finish off the blood in the water, but it means that Mad at least stay alive for the moment. But Weibo, they already know that they've got their sights set on moving on in this World Championship.
Absolutely. Mid lane now pushing down for Weibo. They just have control absolutely everywhere. Chasy just trying to keep the Wolves at bay. But even that doesn't feel like something that you can safely take. Getting gold on the Rift, very, very difficult here for Mad, who are kind of circling the drain. 8,000 gold down. 24 seconds on this Hextech Drake. Will once again be sole point for Weibo, but I don't think they have that in their mind. 2 minutes on the Baron could be needed to get that push in, but it's an open door on the bottom side of the map. They might just set up another siege to try and get in there.
Exactly. You saw Xiaohu pushing up that top lane, shoving in those minions. The bot lane's going to naturally push, so that's why Weibo are hovering here around mid, making sure all of these lanes are locking Mad into the base, while TheShy can just go back over towards the Dragon, and Mad looking like they want to step out and maybe look for some sort of a contest angle here, but it's going to be hard.
It's a terrible spot to try and take a fight as well in the jungle. Like, so much AoE, Light's going to be perfectly fine behind all his tanks.
The game ends.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe even if Elyoya dies, it might.
Yeah, Hylissang's in a lot of trouble. The Pop Blossom going to be used only on him as Elyoya's able to steal away the Hex Drake. There's at least that. He may sacrifice himself for it as the cease and desist is going to be used onto Light. You may as well. He gets over the wall. That was pretty cool. Light's still going to be able to grab that kill, though, in the end.
But that's 2 dead. And now Mad, they don't really have anywhere that they can try and play to. You got a wave coming in on bot side, 30 seconds on Elyoya. This could just be Weibo going, well, screw this. We're going to take mid and maybe even look to end the game.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel worth it. You have Xiaohu already pushing in through bot. TheShy is going to go down and join him. And yes, he stole that dragon, but you're shoving up mid. You're pushing in bot. And one more misstep from Mad, and their year is over.
Oh, Weibo, they're going to be able to take their second inhibitor. Nisqy looking to line up that charm, find the angle. Chasy going to get knocked up. The inhibitor will fall. And Weibo, they don't need to push it on this particular play. They're going to grab the inhibitor. That is going to provide even more pressure on Mad. We're now just going to have to try and sit back and figure out some way to desperately win this. We'll get this replay once again. Hylissang falls down. They do manage to secure themselves the Drake.
Yes, but again, like giving 2 kills across for second dragon, like this wasn't even sold. This was just a third dragon for Weibo. And now you're giving the 2 inhibs across, you're giving control over towards this Baron that's just about to spawn as well. I mean, it's so many opportunities for Weibo just off that play.
And Hilly doesn't even really add anything being there because Elyoya had a pink in his inventory anyway, and he warded over. So sure, Hilly double warded, but it doesn't really mean anything. And now Mad going to be spotted in trouble.
Yeah, Xiaohu knows exactly what's going on. Nisqy is going to be able to Spirit Rush away, but now he won't have the charges available for this next fight. The Baron is just melting, and Light going to help secure that one. Oh man, this guy is a raid boss. 6-0-6 right now on the Aphelios. He's had an incredible series so far.
I mean, you look back to the previous series as well. Noah having a monster game on the Aphelios. Now Light absolutely popping off on it, and they're going to try to look for a pick. We'll see.
TheShy
Oh
isn't
my
even
God.
going to check it. Elyoya
Oh
just
my
in this
God.
brush. Okay. I don't know what it's going to do.
Not much.
But it's oh,
Things.
if Chris
It
face
could do
checks in,
things.
it might work out. Okay, let's see what Elyoya is going to be able to find here. Is if he gets on top of Light, that might be a way to find a win in the team fight.
We'll
But
see.
still.
I mean, they have to get past the hostile takeover, they have to get past the bailout, and they have to get past supers coming in both mid and bot. They're just going to wait for it. Xiaohu got the death cap now completed. Mad, if they're going to go, they're going to have to go now.
Well, there is the Infernal Chains connecting. Shy not going to be able to get on top of Carzzy here, who does get healed by the W from the Soraka. Elyoya can't wait forever as the turret does go down. There it is, into the backline with the cease and desist, but they just can't do anything to Light. And Weibo will just destroy Mad. It was such a cute attempt, but it just wasn't enough in the end. They have so much money. The wallets are so heavy. TheShy just cuts down Hylissang where he stands, and these Nexus turrets will go down as well. Weibo with a 2-0 over Mad will stay alive in the tournament.
Mad really made him work for it in that first game, but Weibo showed their class in the 5v5s, and in game 2, had such good answers to what Mad cooked up in the draft. Really smart picks, really smart play, denying any chance for Carzzy and Hylissang to really get going. And once Light was ahead, it just felt like there's no stopping him.
Yeah, the Renata was doing so much work over the course of this series, making it so hard for these dive opportunities for Mad to really be set up. And then, as you say, I mean, Light taking control against the Kalista alongside weiwei, getting in. The bot lane for Weibo alongside Weibo were clearly just outclassing Mad. I mean, even in game number 1, it was Nisqy trying to hold down the shoulder.